All right, well, we already talked about the fact for triangles that three angles in a triangle add to 180. Now we're finally going to use that fact and apply it to several different types of problems to solve for missing angles. I'm going to give you three types of triangles, and we're going to try to find the value of all the missing angles and variables. All right, my first diagram actually has two triangles in it. This triangle on the left, I know that this angle up there is 28 degrees. The lower left is 85, and then I'm going to call this one X, Y, Z, and then I know this angle right here is 17 degrees. So I know that three angles in a triangle add to 180. If I get a problem like this, I've got to start with finding X. X is the only one where I know two of the other angles, so I'm able to take 180 and subtract off 85 and subtract off 28, and I could use that then to find what X is, and I end up getting 67 degrees, so X is 67. Now, the reason I wanted to do that one was I had enough information. The next angle I need to find is Y, and this is where sometimes students get a little confused by this. So three angles in a triangle add to 180, but also remember that if I've got a straight angle, my two angles are supplementary, and those also add to 180. So right now, X plus Y would add to be 180 because it makes a straight line right here. So to find Y, I can do 180 subtract 67. And I get 113. So Y equals 113 degrees. And now I've got enough information to find Z. So I'm back to the fact that all three angles in a triangle add up to 180, and so I'll use that fact to find Z. Maybe you don't think that's confusing, but I think that is a little confusing that there's two different reasons. There's multiple situations anyways where things add up to 180. So I had a straight angle, supplementary adds up to 180, but also three angles in a triangle add up to 180. And actually it's for the same reason. Those three angles, if I ripped them apart, would go right along a straight angle. All right, let me give you another one. So similar situation to part A. On my triangle on my left, I got X, Y, and 40, and then my next triangle, I've got Z, 57 degrees, and 24 degrees. All right, I'd like you to try this one on your own, and I'll give you a hint. The first angle you need to find is Z, because Z is the angle where I know the two other ones, so I'm able to subtract from 180. So please pause the video and try it, and when you unpause, I'll have the answers showing. All right, you should have gotten 99 degrees for Z after you subtract from 180. And then Z and Y are again supplementary, kind of like X and Y were before. So subtract from 180, I get 81 degrees. And then take 81 and 40, subtract from 180 to get X. Again, write down any questions you have, and we can definitely talk about them when we go over this in class tomorrow. All right, last example for triangle stuff. Sometimes you're also going to be given a more complicated situation. In this triangle, it's a right triangle, and I know this upper left-hand corner is 8x plus 2 degrees, and the lower right-hand corner is 9x plus 3 degrees. So in this situation, I need to figure out what x is before I can figure out what my angles are. All I know is that three angles add to 180. So what we can do, our setup here, I'm going to take all three of my angles, add them up. Right angle is 90 degrees. Set it equal to 180, and then I'll solve it. All right, so step one, combine like terms. 9x plus 8x is 17x, and then 2 plus 3 plus 90 is 95. I'm going to subtract 95 from both sides. And then I'm going to divide by 17, and you end up with x equals 5. All right, so remember we're not done because we're trying to find the angle measures. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to plug a 5 in here for x, and I end up with 45 plus 3, so 48 degrees. And here I'm going to plug in a 5 for x, and I end up with 40 plus 3, so 43 degrees. Write down any questions, and thanks for listening.